video, I thought I would go through the quiz and go through each of the questions and provide you guys with the answers and explain them as we go. So first of all, let's start with the first question. Fill in the blanks to print the value of x 5 times. So this is what we already had. We had an integer named x, so declare the integer as x, and then you have it being assigned a value of 42. So what I expect to see in the right is I expect to see 42 printed 5 times. So let's see, we have another integer declared num and set to 0, and then we have the body of the while loop. And so what we want to do, we want to see it 5 times. All right, so we can use this illustration to explain to you guys again how while loop works. So the code is coming down, it encounters a while loop and has a condition. And if the condition is true, it goes into the body of the block code of the while loop. And then as long as the condition is true, this will keep looping because it is a loop. But once the condition is false, it'll exit right out. So here we wanted to go to print 5 times. So I know that my num is my sort of conditional counter, and eventually I want num to escape this condition. So I'm going to set the condition num less than 5, and I'm going to increment num each time. This way I know that the first time that the loop runs, num is 0. So num is 0 less than 5, and the answer is yes. And so it goes into the code. So this is how it works. So num is declared over here, and then comes the condition num, which has a value of 0 at first, is 0 less than 5, and the answer is yes. So it's true. It goes into the block of code, and it does whatever it needs to do. And inside of here, I am incrementing num by the value of 1. The plus plus will increment it by the value of 1. And so it loops back around, but now num has a value of 1. Is 1 less than 5? And the answer is yes. And so it goes again, and it increases again, and it comes back around again. Is num less than, is 2 less than 5? And the answer is yes. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. And then it comes back around. It says it's 4 less than 5. That's my condition is true, and this is the 5th time that we're coming through here. So if you're keeping track, first time around, it goes to it's true. The condition flows this way. Num has a value of 0. Second time has a value of 1. Third time has a value of 2. Fourth time has a value of 3. And then 5th time that is coming to this block of code, num has a value of 4. And here the value gets increased to 5. And then it comes back around to the condition and says it's 5 less than 5, and the answer is no. So it exits the while loop. So what do I want it to do? I wanted to print the value of x 5 times. So this is my printing value statement, console.writeLine, and I'm just going to put x because this is going to give us the value of x once it prints. So let's execute this. And there we have it. Num executes, x prints out 5 times. And of course, when I say x, I mean the variable x, its value is what is being printed out. Now, so what happens if we get to the condition here and it's false right off the bat? Let's figure that out, and that way we can just test it. So first time it comes around, num has a value of 5. Is 5 less than 5? No. So nothing happens, because again it comes to this condition and it doesn't even run the block of code once. So some people had 4 in here, and I see where they're coming from, but this is not the correct answer. This way we'll only do it 4 times. But I did want to show you guys that if we change this to being instead of a less than operator, if we use a less than or equals operator, this way it does print it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is because when it's coming around, so first time around, it prints this line, num has a value of 0. It comes back, now num has a value of 1, comes back around, 2, comes back around, 3, and this is our 4th time. So then it gets to here in our 4th time, and num gets the value of 4. So it comes back around to the while loop and says, is 4 less than or equal to 4? And the answer is yes. So it comes into the loop at 5th time, right? This condition here is key. It's coming back to it and asking it every time, is this true or false? And if it's false, it exits right out. But if it is true, it comes into the block of code. And that's how while loops work, and that's how for loops work as well. The syntax is just a little bit different, but it still has this condition that is coming too. And again, there's still, I is our variable that is being increased in value, and eventually this condition will be false because eventually I is going to be greater or equal to whatever we're asking it to be less than, and so it's not going to be able to execute the code anymore, the block of code inside the loop, and it's going to exit right out. But that's exactly what we want. So again, the answers here are 5, x, and num in this order, because we want to print out x. Num is our variable that is being taken into consideration the condition, and we increase it each time to make sure that we don't print it more than 5 times or less than 5 times. And so that's our first question. So now let's move into the second question. Choose from these options the correct values. So here I'm giving you guys 4 options, and this is already answered. So let me set it back to what it was. You guys already saw the answers, but so this is how you guys saw it in your quiz. So for the first blank, I hope you guys are getting used to seeing our main method. No program in .NET runs without a main method. It's where everything gets called. And then we had 3 options left. We have double, we have console, and we have WriteLine. Now, one thing to note is that this set of parentheses with x as a parameter, it's a giveaway that this is calling a function. So between double, console, and WriteLine, my only function is WriteLine, because double is a data type and console is an object. And now we know that WriteLine never goes without the console, because console is the object that WriteLine belongs to. So console owns the function WriteLine, and we need to reference it before we call WriteLine. So if we run this, you can see that the value of x is being printed out, and here is 3 plus 4 is 7 times 2 is 14. And I just want to show you guys that we can either have it outside and call x as a parameter, or we can just passing the operation itself to the WriteLine, and it'll be able to register still as an integer being passed as a parameter. So just something to show off to you guys.